Hey everybody, it's Steve with Smitty's Flybox. Today we're tying the Copper John by John Barr. So we have a 1710 Daiichi hook here and a gold brass bead. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a little lead wire here, some real small thin lead wire. I'm going to make about 5 or 6 turns with that, and we'll pop off the ends there. And then we can just slide it up under that bead there. This will give it a little extra weight and also jam that that bead in place. Alright, so I have some 8/0 thread here. Let's just attach our thread behind that wire. And we'll start our thread. And then I'm going to take my thread and just actually wrap it through that lead wire with some good tight wraps there, just to secure that in place so it doesn't slip around on us. It's a good idea to just put a little tiny drop of super glue right there just to keep that from twisting. Okay, so for the tail I'm going to take some goose biots here. I'm going to take 2 of those and just try to clip them together. Clip them off, but while I'm holding them together. Now they'll naturally kind of curve one direction. We'll put them back to back so that they splay out like that. Now we want the tail to be about half the length of the hook shank, so let's just get that measurement there, and then I'm going to hold it there with my left hand. I can bring my the butt ends there and just kind of split through the hook there and just secure that right on top. Now we'll let's slide it back a little bit. Just try to keep a hold of it with my left hand as I wrap cleanly with my right hand back towards our tie-in point directly above the barb of the hooks. Now before we clip those butt ends, let's just actually wrap those up towards that lead wire there, and it just fills in that little space nicely, and we're creating a small taper there, a thread-based taper, as we work there. Okay, now we can snip these off. Ready for the wire. So I'm going to use red. This is brassy size red wire. Again, you can use any color you like. And I'm just going to lay that wire in there again right against that lead and secure it, and just try to tie it in nice and flat and straight right along the side of the hook. We'll go all the way back toward the base of our tail, and let's turn right around with our thread and bring that just past halfway. Now we can wrap this abdomen there with this wire. Try to make a little bit. Alright, now for the wing case, we're going to put a little flash and some thin skin. So I'm just going to take one piece of Flashabou. Just one strand, one small strand there. And let's carefully try to lay that on top and tie that in. Oops. Now if we need to, we can come back over the wire. We want to be about halfway, about right there. Once we have the flash in, I'm going to take thin skin. I'm going to cut a small strip here. The key to this is not to get one that's too wide. So I use the width of the bead as a measurement to make sure that's about the right width. Okay, we can remove the paper off the back. Once you remove it, it'll kind of curve upward. So let's tie it in so the curve is facing up, and secure that in place with our thumbnail there. And again, make sure we wrap it down all the way back to about halfway right there. Alright, now we're ready for a little peacock. We're just going to take one little strand of peacock here. We'll hold that along the side of the hook there. And then we return our thread to behind the bead. And now we can wrap peacock. This one strand of peacock going forward. It just creates this thorax. Careful not to crowd your head too much. And we can tie off the peacock. Okay, what I like to do with Peacock, I like to just run my thread through it a couple of kind of spiral wraps, and we'll bring it right back just in front of the, or behind the eye of the hook, or the bead. Okay, for the legs, I've got, this is grouse feather here. So there's one section there, they're kind of small, but I want those to extend just past the midpoint of the hook there. So once I have that, I can pinch it there with my thumbnail and secure those in. Now you're going to have some little butts there, so I like to just come in and try to trim those cleanly if we can. Let's repeat that step. Lay that in there nice and tight. Hold it in place, just kind of pinch it with your forefinger there. And we'll secure that in with 2 or 3 good wraps. And pop off those butt ends. Good sharp pair of scissors, which I don't have, is helpful. Okay, it's going to look a little messy for a second. Not a huge deal. We'll clean it up here. Okay, let's pull over the wing case now. So we'll just take this thin skin. You can slightly stretch that and drop it over, your thread over, right behind the bead, and give it a couple little tugs there just to let that bite in there. And now we can snip off the thin skin. And now let's pull the flash right over the top there. And we'll tie that down the same way. Just hold with our right hand, drop our thread over. Snip that off. Alright, now let's just make a couple of good turns there and just clean up any little rough edges we may have there behind the bead. And we're ready for our whip finish. Now for the back, it's a good idea to have some sort of adhesive. You could put a little head cement on there, or super glue. I just have some of this UV glue that I use here at my desk. So I'm just going to put a little thin layer of this right on the wing case there. And that gives it kind of a cool look there. I'll hit it with my light here and let that cure. And what we have is the Copper John.